Question. Hello, Kim. I'm a student studying the teachings of the Ascended Masters through your work. I'm writing because I have a question regarding Maraytaii. Maraytaii is a female Ascended Master. A few years ago, when I first listened to your recording that included the mantra of Maraytaii, I experienced a wave of chills throughout my entire body. When I began to chant the mantra myself, it felt as though every cell in my body was vibrating, and tears started pouring down. I have never experienced such a direct and powerful sensation from any other mantra or decree, so this left a deep impression on me. I had not thought about this for some time, but today I had the impression that the restoration of the Divine Feminine and the psychological healing of women may be part of my divine plan. I'm not entirely certain, but after having that impression, I simply found myself chanting the Maraytaii mantra again, almost without any conscious intention, and the same experience occurred. My voice changed and tears rose up immediately. With other rosaries or invocations, even if I feel something strongly at first, the experience usually becomes familiar over time. But the Maraytaii mantra is different. So my question is, why is such a direct and powerful presence so unknown? I cannot find any information about Maraytaii anywhere except through your teachings. If I already had a mental image of this master, I could assume that my reaction might be influenced by my own expectations, but because I had no prior image of Maraytaii at all, this experience feels quite remarkable to me. How did you come to know Maraytaii, and is there anything more you could share about her? Well, you look historically at Ascended Master teachings, going back through, for example, the Summit Lighthouse, the I Am Movement, and each dispensation, as you might call it, has certain masters that are primary to that dispensation, that have sort of sponsored it, working with it. And so every once in a while there will be new masters that will be introduced because, as I've explained, what the masters are doing is called progressive revelation. So they're giving certain revelation to raise the collective consciousness. When the collective consciousness is raised, they can give more revelation. So as a part of this process, every once in a while there will be a new Ascended Master that's introduced that hasn't been introduced in previous dispensations. And Maraytaii is one of these. She hasn't ever been talked about in previous dispensations. It was something that came to me. The name simply came to me. And the mantra that the person is talking about is just reciting the name. Maraytaii, and you can keep repeating it. And so, but there's also a decree actually now that you can find on transcendentoolbox.com. So, so she's a new master. She's a feminine master. She is. If you take my video about how the world was created, I'm talking about there were layers of creation. So there was one sphere that was created, that ascended, a second sphere was created, that ascended, and we are now in the seventh sphere. So that means that when you look at Ascended Masters, right, our sphere is quite old. It has existed for a long time. So there are some ascended, or what we call Ascended Masters, who ascended in our sphere. Examples of this: Jesus, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, El Moya or Master Moore, and also the seven Johans. They ascended in our sphere. Then there are some Ascended Masters that ascended in the sixth sphere before ours. There are examples are the Elohim. The Elohim actually created the earth because they had ascended, or obviously prior to the earth being created. They ascended in the sixth sphere. And then you have some masters that you can call cosmic beings. And they might have ascended in the sixth sphere, they might have ascended in the previous sphere, before the sixth. And Maraytaii is what I understand as a cosmic being. I don't know what sphere she ascended in, because she hasn't, as far as I remember, she hasn't said. I don't know if it really matters, but so she's what I would call a cosmic being. And you can say that the Ascended Masters that ascended either from Earth or from our sphere, they have a more direct experience of the density of our sphere. So that's why they are usually the ones who work with us more directly at a more personal level. But the cosmic beings, they are looking at it from a kind of bird's eye view. You know, they have a broader perspective on it. They're maybe not as personal with us. I mean, I experience, for example, some masters you can feel really close to personally, like Mother Mary, for example. But the cosmic beings, when you go higher, it's kind of like they're a little more distant. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like it's almost like you feel like Mother Mary, for example, often comments on personal situations and issues, whereas the cosmic beings, they are looking at things from a higher perspective beyond the purely personal. And Maraytaii is one of those. Now, what I would say here is, and I think this is important to realize, the person is talking about, So the person describing, I had a very powerful experience with Maraytaii. And then why is such a direct and powerful presence so unknown? Well, there's two things here. First of all, because as I said, as the consciousness is raised on earth, there are masters that are in a higher realm that now say, okay, now the earth is ready that I can start working with earth. It doesn't mean that the earth is ready. It means there are now a critical mass of people in embodiment on earth who can tune in to my being. So you could say, if there might be a cosmic being who ascended in the first sphere, but if nobody on earth can tune into that being, that person isn't going to direct its attention to earth. Why would it? There's no point. So the fact that Maraytaii has stepped forward means that there are now a critical mass, but not a large number probably, of people who can tune into her being, her presence. And the person asking the question is obviously one of those. So that's why she's yet unknown, because she's relatively new working with Earth, and there are not that many people who can tune into her. But the other thing I would say here is, be very aware of this. You had a very powerful experience with Maraytaii, but other people can have just as powerful of experience with other masters. It's just a matter of who are you personally attuned to. So I think it's very important to pay attention to these kind of things when you begin to become aware of ascended masters and you have some sense of attunement with them. That is there a master you have a strong attunement with? And for example, the person says that I had the impression that the restoration of the divine feminine and the psychological healing of women may be part of my divine plan. These are the kind of things you really need to pay attention to, and then you need to try and expand your intuition on it, get some clarity on it, make calls to the masters. So in other words, make calls to Maraytaii in your case. But if you have another master, I mean, there could be other masters who, for example, are tuned into Mother Mary, and it's also part of your divine plan to restore the divine feminine and the psychological healing of women. But if you feel that it comes from Mother Mary, then you tune into her. So as I said, there's a decree to Maraytaii. I would give that every day, 9 times, for example. And she's also in the book, The Song of Life Healing Matrix. There's a whole chapter on Maraytaii, and there's an invocation based on that. You could consider giving that invocation every day instead of the decree. So, but what I'm saying is, if you have another master you feel is tied to it, then do that. Give an invocation, give a decree every day, ask the master to help you see more clearly what is in your divine plan. Obviously, the restoration of the divine feminine, the psychological healing of women, it's a very big issue that requires many, many people to be involved, and from different angles. So, I think it's, the person says, I'm not entirely certain, but after having that impression, I simply found myself chanting the Maraytaii mantra again, almost without any conscious intention. and the same experience occurred. So these are experiences you really want to treasure, you really want to pay attention to, and you have to be careful here. You have to be really careful, because I've done this myself and I've seen other people do it. You have a powerful experience. Now you want to repeat it. So now you're trying with the outer mind to repeat it. You're trying to force it, and that doesn't happen. You force it away. So you have to find some kind of balance here where you're not striving for a particular experience, but you are tuning into the master. You're giving the master's decrees. You are reading something about the master, or dictations they've given, or listen to them. And you just let the experience come. And if it doesn't come, you're not frustrated about it. You're not trying to force it. Because it's a grace. It's a gift. This happens spontaneously, we might say, for you, because you didn't do anything to produce it. But the master gave you a gift. And the master may give you other gifts, or it may not. It may take a while. But what I'm saying is this: don't be frustrated. Don't try to force it. But try to tune into the master, and then let whatever happen. It's very, very important not to try and force an ascended master, because you can't. And the fact is, if you try and force a master, the master has to withdraw. Because let's say you have a certain thought matrix that you are superimposing upon the master. If the master appeared, it would validate that thought matrix, but that thought matrix may just be the outer mind or the ego. I have seen over the years, both in myself and other people, that your ego has a desire to be special, to be validated. And once you find ascended master teachings and you come to believe in ascended masters, what higher validation could the ego get than if an ascended master validated you? But you see, if your view of what that means is colored by the ego, if the master did it, you would be trapped in your ego for the rest of his lifetime, potentially. So that's why I'm saying, this is a gift, and you can't force it. But you can, of course, do something to tune into the master. But it may also be that, because I have found this in myself, okay? It's kind of like, when you're new to the ascended masters, sometimes you're more innocent. You're not trying to force it. And it's like the person is describing, the first time I listened to your recording, I experienced a wave of chills throughout my entire body, because you approached it from a neutral perspective. You were innocent. You didn't have any superimposed images you were imposing upon it. The person is saying also, if I already had a mental image of this master, I could assume that my reaction might be influenced by my own expectations. Yes, very, very important to keep that in mind. You can have this desire to get validation or get an experience, and then the master has to step away. But when you're innocent, when you don't have any expectations, that's when the master can give you this gift. And I have had experiences that were very important to me, that were definitely life-changing before and after experiences. They really set me on a new track. But I didn't have a desire to repeat them, because it isn't a matter of having the same experience over and over again. It's like you have an experience, it shifts you, it sets you on a new course, and then you just keep going on that course. It's kind of like you have to be a little bit mature with ascended master, because ascended masters are not here for our entertainment, So it's like you're saying, like, for example, I've told this story before. I was 19 years old, and I had this out-of-body experience. Very powerful out-of-body experience. As powerful and physical as an experience could possibly be. And I went through a tunnel into a golden light. I have no idea what happened in the light, but then I came back into my body with such force that my body literally bounced on the bed. And what I took with me from that is that I had the experience in order to validate, because I was very young at the time, there is something beyond the material world. And it was important for me to experience that, not just to know it theoretically, but to experience it. And I can connect to it. I'm not disconnected from it. I can connect to that. But it is not important for me in this lifetime to repeat that experience all the time, because I'm here to do something with the physical body, with the mind that I have in this lifetime. So in other words, I realized that I can have experiences, I can have spiritual experiences after I ascend to the spiritual realm. But while I'm in a physical body, the primary goal is not to have spiritual experiences, but to have the kind of experiences I can only have through a physical body and the outer mind. And of course, transcend that and work on my ascension, but also do something for the ascended masters, like what the person is saying, restoration of the divine feminine and the psychological healing of women may be part of my divine plan. So that's why I'm just saying, it's like once you have a strong experience that helps you see something, you go for that. You don't expect that every other week the master is going to give you another experience to validate that you're going in the right direction, because you know you are. So I'm just trying to give some teaching here that apply not just to Maraytaii, but to your contact with any ascended master, whoever is closest to you. And it's very important not to get into this, which master is more important. There are no masters that are more or less important. A cosmic being, yes, is higher than an ascended master who ascended from earth. But they don't look at it that way. They don't have a value judgment. So it's just a matter of tuning in. And the real issue for you personally is to discover the master that you are closest to, at least right now, at the present stage of your path. It may shift over time, but for right now, which master are you closest to? And tune into that master, and then help that let that master take you higher. And but definitely, if you have an experience like the person is describing, that means you have a close tie to that particular master. You have an attunement with that master, and you pay attention to it. So is there anything more you could share about Maraytaii? Not really. I mean, I would encourage you to, as the person has already done, read these dictations that are there. There's Song of Life Healing Matrix, there's one, but there's also on ascendedmasterlight.com, there's also at least one, I think more than one actually, of these dictations, and then tune in that way. As I said, she's a relatively new master for Earth, so it is really a matter of those who feel they have a tie to her doing what they can to tune in. And that way you actually help, in a sense you are helping create a pathway in a collective consciousness so that it becomes easier for other people to tune into Maraytaii, and she can in a sense also use that to descend closer to the physical realm and give other impulses of energy and teachings.